Have you ever actually looked at the money in your wallet? I mean, really looked at it. We see these bills every single day, but we pretty much never stop to think about the story they tell. And believe me, the story of how our money came to look the way it does, it's a fascinating one. Let's dive in. So yeah, why does it look the way it does? Why the specific size? Why the green ink, the portraits that are kind of off to the side, and all those hidden little details? Well, the answer isn't simple. It's definitely not just about design.
In fact, the story of the modern dollar bill is really a story about national crisis and some incredible human ingenuity.
It all starts with the country literally tearing itself apart and the desperate, desperate need to fund an army.
And then it's driven by this constant, escalating battle, a cat and mouse game against clever criminals trying to make fakes. And it brings us to today, with some of the most advanced anti-counterfeiting tech you can possibly imagine, hiding right there in plain sight. Okay, so let's rewind the clock, way back to the 1860s. The United States is smack in the middle of the Civil War, and the government is running out of money to pay for it all. Their solution? Just print it.
And this is what they came up with: demand notes. This was the very first paper currency ever issued by the US government. They were huge compared to modern bills, and honestly, the designs were kind of all over the place. This kicked off what you could call the wild designs era. For the next few decades, money came in different sizes, it featured all sorts of crazy complex art, and even used different colors. There was no single standard look, which, you gotta imagine, was incredibly confusing. Right, so this chaos couldn't last forever. If the currency was ever going to be trusted and efficient, it needed a serious makeover. It needed to be standardized. And then, everything changed in 1929. This was the big standardization. Bills were made smaller, the exact size we use today, and all the designs became uniform. This was such a crucial turning point because it made money much easier and cheaper to print and way simpler for everyone to use. Then, you fast forward to the 1950s, and a new element gets added. We're deep in the Cold War, and the US wanted to reinforce its national identity, so the motto, "In God We Trust," was officially added to all paper currency. Suddenly, the dollar became a symbol of culture, not just commerce.
But just as the dollar was finding its look, a new problem was getting a lot worse. See, as printing technology got better for the government, it also got better for criminals. And this kicked off a technological arms race against counterfeiters that is still going on today.
And you can actually see this escalation happen over time. It started pretty simple, back in the 60s with these intricate, fine-line printing patterns that were hard to copy. But as the fakes got better, the defenses had to level up in a big way, which led to this huge leap in technology by 1996 with things like watermarks and security threads. Oh yeah, the 1996 redesign was a total game changer. The portraits got bigger and they were moved off center. This was a really clever move to create space for a watermark, that little faint image you can only see when you hold it up to a light. And for the very first time, a security thread, which is this tiny plastic strip, was embedded right into the paper. After decades of being known as greenbacks, color actually made a comeback in the 2000s. Subtle splashes of color were added to the background, and this served two purposes. One, it gave the bills a more modern look, and two, it added another layer of complexity for counterfeiters to try and replicate. Which brings us to today. And honestly, our modern bills, especially the $100 bill, are technological marvels. I mean, they've got 3D security ribbons with these tiny lenses that make images of bells and hundreds look like they're moving as you tilt the note. You've got ink that literally shifts color. You've got other hidden images. This is the absolute cutting edge of the war on fakes. But, all this crazy evolution raises a brand new question. In a world of digital payments, where you just tap your phone or your card, what is the future for physical cash? Is it even still relevant? Well, it looks like cash isn't going away just yet. The focus now is on making it even more secure, exploring potential redesigns to be more inclusive, and basically figuring out how physical money can coexist with our digital wallets. So yeah, the evolution continues. So let's just quickly recap this incredible journey, right? We went from those massive, chaotic notes born out of war in 1861 to the standardized, familiar bill of 1929 to that major security upgrade in 1996, all the way to the high-tech fortress that it is today. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? A dollar bill is so much more than paper. It's a piece of evolving technology. It's a historical document that reflects the country's biggest needs at any given moment. And it's a symbol of national identity. Next time you hold one, remember, you're holding a story in your hand. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our money gets packed with more and more amazing technology just to survive in the modern world, is physical cash actually getting smarter? Or is this just its final, brilliant evolution right before it becomes a relic of the past?